hope you're doing well. We're down here baking in Texas, triple digits for 2-3 weeks. We're gonna get rain next week, so I'm excited. But I want to jump on here because I've been doing a lot of work on myself. As usual, this is what kind of this whole video series is about, like getting through the hard times, because we are in it. We're in the troubled times. Look at any of the ancient texts from the Mayans, the Bible, they're all screaming right now is the craziest time in human history, because we have a chance to either go to the light or to the dark, right? So every day I'm working on myself. And so this broadcast is all about knowing your triggers and then becoming bulletproof. So when people trigger you, the best thing to do, take a deep breath. Count to 10. Recognize that what they're saying and how they're getting to you is a trigger, and that is a gift, even though it doesn't feel like it, believe me. It lets you know where you need healing. It gives you a clue to where did this come from. I'll tell you one of my triggers: disrespect. In this body, the world sees a chopped up woman. Doesn't matter how old you are. You shouldn't have a voice or an opinion, a strong opinion about things. You just be a little inspiration, you, and be quiet and be nice. Well, I'm Scottish, so I have a big mouth. And sometimes I say things that offend people. So I apologize if I've ever done that on here. I try to keep this very instructional because my guru, Matt Kahn, Khan, he's on YouTube. Awesome guy. Get his books. Listen to it. It's going to change your life. Because what he's doing is... my little speech today about triggers, it's all about knowing. He tells you where you have things to heal in yourself, and so it's a gift, right? So you gotta, take breath. Always come back positively. If you come back, oh yeah, you so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. If you argue, if you fight, if you create a fight from the trigger, well, let me tell you what's going on. The universe... its frequencies, it's reading you constantly. So what our job on earth is to do, drum roll, to be kind. The game is, how will you respond? You're being pushed. Your buttons are getting pushed. I mean, you want to tear something up, right? Mad. Ooh, what? Deep breath. Count to 10, back out of the situation if you can't handle saying anything nice to them. Give it some time. The thing is, when somebody's triggering you, when they're going off on you, they're showing you what hurts inside of them. It's projection. They're putting their garbage out on you. So you have to understand that. Understand, this is none of your business. Even though they're in your face and they're saying something. You're a so-and-so such and such. Ooh. And you want to back at them. Don't do it. We're talking about karma. We're talking about a universal truth of the reason why we've incarnated on this planet. It is not to procreate, have babies, get a job, and die. It's not what we're doing here. This is a school. And the lesson comes in all the clowns that come in your play. All the world's a stage, like Shakespeare said. If all the world's a stage and each actor's coming in your life, blah, 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 how do they make me feel? This guy's okay. That guy I don't like. Why don't you like him? Dig deep. There's something inside of you that's a gold nugget, something you've suppressed. I do hypnotherapy all day. And these people are coming in with this deep stuff. And sometimes I can get through to them, and sometimes they put a wall up for me, and I can't get past it. And that's their journey. So you have to bless them and let them go on their way. Doesn't mean, anything that I'm saying here today doesn't mean you have to put up with bad shit. When somebody's being angry and mean to you, that means they need space. And you give them space. But how you respond to them, that's on you. That's your karma. And if you want to get stuck coming back here to this lovely place. Some people enjoy being here. Some people don't. It's very hard to be here. There is so much suffering. It is unbelievable. And I really hope that people get from my talks that meditation will save your life. It'll save your life. If you disconnect from this crazy world, just for a few minutes a day, just disconnect. And open your top chakra to receive your higher self, source, universal truth. Let it come in, ask for it, invite it in through the white light through the top of your head. In that quiet space, you could just imagine that white light flowing all over your body. It feels so good. And there's so many more meditations you can do too. Gold light is really nice. There's a breathing technique where you breathe in for 5 and you hold it and you imagine breathing in this gold light, like glitter, like actual gold going inside of you. Every cell of your body is being stimulated by this God source. You just feel it. Inhale 5 and then hold it for 5. You want to hold that gold in, right? And then blow out your mouth for 10 long ticks. But I want you to visualize black, gray, the shit of the world, the trespasses people do to you, the frustration it is to be on this 3-dimensional earth plane in these heavy, dense bodies, dealing with these lower frequency vibrations of anger and hatred and jealousy and envy and greed. Isn't that the American way? What have we done to our kids? No wonder they have mental health problems. Come on, we got to teach them to go inward, bring the gold in through the top of their minds, energize that third eye so your perception is spot on and you can feel it in your gut when something resonates good with you and when something, you need to let that alone. Whether it be a person, place, something like alcohol has become that way with me. I can't drink. So when I'm around drunk people, I hate it. It's awful. Alcohol turns people, it scares me. It bothers me. And I've developed this over time. I just don't enjoy being, when I'm in a fun mood and I'm trying to like chill and not be so judgmental and, loosen my hair and, go out and I don't ever get to do that anymore. I'm just talking about when I used to do it. I don't sit there and judge everybody. No, I'm having a good time. I'm going to go with it. I might even have a few drinks. But what I'm talking about is the chronic use of alcohol, because that used to be me. That's how I got through my first 2 marriages. I was a wine drinker, could not lose the baby fat after giving birth to my boy. Fat. I was so fat. But I had to drink wine every night. I think I drank almost a bottle a night. It was a coping mechanism. And we cope through our traumas of what happened to us. And when we don't feel loved, appreciated, like I didn't in my marriage, I'm medicated. People do that. So what I'm trying to do with these videos is to give people a higher understanding and higher concepts, instead of us being thrown on these turbulent seas of drama and here comes another character in our life. I'm going to tell you something. When the universe sends you characters, I've had 3 major ones this month. Yeah, people that come up in your space and go, you know what you should do? You should sell your house and move to a cheaper county. Yeah. No, this is my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. I don't want to move. I got friends around here. I got my whole life set up here. But people always have an opinion, right? And then you get somebody going, oh, I'm really down on my luck. Can you let me live with you? No, Mama, don't play that anymore. Now I am all about me and my sanctuary and creating my peaceful space. And I suggest people have a peaceful sanctuary space in their house. As a parent, you're being pushed and pulled by these kids. I did 26 years of being a mom. I'm in retirement now. My kids don't want to be around me, and that's cool. It's their journey, right? They'll come back. They're just having a little moment. Everybody goes through their stuff, right? So you got to give people space when they're mean. And then stay true to yourself and send them love and just let them know you're here. That's what parents are supposed to do. And so it's the same with other people. Why don't we treat other people like our children? Why can't we look at our neighbor like you are my kid, like I care about you? How are you? Why can't people be real and authentic with each other anymore? I think that if we were more friendly and peaceful and saying a loving word to each other and helping someone out when you can and being there for somebody when they need somebody, it just bringing a casserole over when they're having a hard time, just be friendly, be nice, reach out. Twice a year I have a party at my house and everybody loves it because I have this great house for a party. And I am such a hermit all the time, man. I'm always like, I'm going to do my computer. I'm going to do my designing my rooms. Oh, let's pull a tarot card. Oh, I need to paint today. Oh, I'm going to read a book. Oh, Audible's my jam. I can close my eyes and listen. I'm getting so much great information. Like I'm like transforming myself every day. What I'm exposing my brain to. I don't expose myself to a lot of junk. And what I call junk is TV commercials, radio commercials, just the news. Oh God, it's so, okay. So what I'm getting and what I'm really wanting to get to you about is fear. Holy cow. Everywhere, everyone's talking about fear. Even what did I say on one of my tapes? We have 10 years before mass extinction if we don't love each other and love the earth more and get back to our ancient roots and do more rituals and just engage with our communities and reach out to people. All this shooting each other and all the kidnapping. I don't know if you see all these abductions, Amber Alerts. Like, wow, there's a lot of darkness going on around here, and how you treat someone online, how you are in your car when you're having road rage, how you control yourself, how you help that old lady with her shopping cart. We're going to make a difference with every act of kindness that we do. And know your triggers so that you can take a deep breath, step back, and say, I recognize that you're coming at me with your stuff, so I'm sending you blessings because I realize your heart hurts. Don't take it personal. Don't start the blame and the fights and the arguments. Stop. This entire existence on this planet right now is how will you respond? How will you come back with a kindness? How will you be compassionate that this person is showing you how much they hurt inside? This person is being completely honest with you when they're telling you off, but it has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personal. If you can get that lesson and compliment them, you will be on high road, on the high road where you're using your integrity, when your honesty and your sense of self, and when you say something, you do it. That integrity, that's what gets me. It's so hard to find. Everybody makes excuses. Doesn't show up for their appointment. Oh, sorry. Oh, can I wait another half hour? I gotta sleep. All these people are just, and I gotta be flexible. Yeah, okay, whatever. It's hard. You feel stepped down. You feel disrespected. And that's one of my triggers. So I have to go to my little inner child, my little Katie, and go, Katie, you deserve to be very sad about how they've treated you. You really do. You have every right to be hurt, angry, pissed off. Why don't you do some yelling? Just yell. It makes me feel better. But then you got to realize, okay, so maybe if the universe sends you exactly what you need all the time and everything's here to help you, as Matt Kahn would say, what is the lesson in them triggering me? Where do I need to send more affection to myself? That I am being triggered by that disrespect. You see that? I mean, that's a big one with me. And it's going to take a while for me to get over because I really believed that I learned that lesson through my father. And because when you're talking about a foundational relationship, You're talking about something that's going to take a little more unraveling because it's so deep. It's really embedded in you. Your knee jerks are like my Scottish big mouth and put my foot in it, saying things. I'm goofy sometimes, right? And this world is so easily offended. I mean, I am. Woo! I gotta walk on eggshells around my kid. Let me just say, okay, she's 13. She knows everything. Like, oh, gotta watch my mouth. And that's part of getting along. And, so yeah, I just, you got to be sensitive about the people you're around. I mean, unless you want to stir up drama, it's no fun. It's really not worth it. If you're triggering them and then they don't understand, like what I'm telling you is very sacred information. I've been doing a lot of work with Blavatsky and the Hermetics and Thoth, Emerald Tablets, and listening to Ancient Archaeology with Freddie Silva and Billy Carson's a very eye-opening person. But there's just so many teachers that I am bouncing from person to person. And the Gaia channel's really been my jam and is the reason why I think that I was able to cope with my son's death and my divorce, my parents dying. I mean, everybody left me. It was crazy. Within 5 years, it's like crickets. No one's left. What? What happened? Okay. Nobody cares. Nobody calls. Nobody comes around. I'm isolated. I'm alone. I could be extremely lonely and depressed right now. I mean psychotic, because I know people that cannot handle being alone like this. And so what I've done is I'm building. Do you feel that? I'm building my foundation. Remember how I was telling you at the very beginning of this video that you can become bulletproof? Bulletproof means you don't have triggers anymore. Just feel that peace. Having nobody upset you in traffic. Did anybody ever see Office Space? Do you remember when he was hypnotized? Do you remember the guy died and he couldn't wake him up correctly? So he went around not having a care in the world, didn't give a crap about his job anymore. And I totally dug that, man. I could really feel like where he was coming from, like to not stress, to just understand this is a play. And how you respond is the game. What if you stop responding? Do you know what that's called? Samadhi. It's Buddhist. Yeah, they had it going on. The Eastern cultures knew how to go within, knew how to work with the inner self and the higher self. That's what it's all about, man. You get good in a good relationship, and you do this through meditation. Get good with your higher self and connect it to your heart. That heart-mind connection, guess what starts to do so well? You put that energy here. This is your higher chakras, higher frequencies, your forgiveness, your gratitude. There you are, heart and mind coming out your throat. That's why chanting Om, you put yourself in that space. I'm telling you, the Egyptians knew what they were doing. You need to study ancient Egypt, because I believe they were sound healing with people. Because if you put the frequency to the organ that's got the cancer, and you send it all this beautiful frequency that it's just bathing in it, you're correcting the imbalance in the organ. All of a sudden your organ goes, hey cancer, get out of here. You see me? I'm jamming. That's what sound healing's all about. And I'm trying to heal my kidneys with it right now. There's called a Rife machine. Very old. It's been around. We've been able to cure cancer since 1930s or 40s, and they put sound around a tumor and made it disappear. They've known about it. But chemo just is so much money, they just can't help. And that's the greed. And that's why we've got to get better. And in this world, things are changing very slowly because there's a lot of archons at the top. Read about that in the Nag Hammadi, about the archons, and the Dead Sea Scrolls. They talk about the archons. yeah, this negative oppressive force that's keeping Earth very undeveloped. We were actually, well, we were way more advanced in the ancient times with all the megaliths, because those were actual beings from a higher frequency. They were down here to teach us and to set up our energy grid with all the pyramids around the Earth. The Anunnaki did that. Yeah, from Orion's belt. Yeah, that's why they lined the pyramids up to Orion, and all kinds of other sacred spots have to do with Orion too, and Osiris, and then Isis. All those people were the main. They're the main players of how why we're human, why we're here. Enki and Lil. Those are the two gods from Sumeria that constantly battle each other. Enki loves humans. He was the snake in the garden. He was given the wisdom to the females because women are we're the portals of life. We're so sacred, and this earth has become so masculine that it's time for the feminine to come back. And when we come back, we're going to establish a harmony. You feel that? Because we've been one-sided for so long, and everybody's just so tired of the authority. And so people are acting out. We're rioting. We're standing up to the system. We're fed up. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of bloodshed before we can get this figured out. I mean, I don't focus on that. My energy when I go into a meditation is all about love. Love each other, love the earth, love, 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 love. Manifest it and visualize it. What does the world look to you if everybody's in love with each other? We all should be doing mushrooms. I mean, you don't see how we're separate. We're all one. This whole system set up with sacred geometry. The net, that's how quantum physics works, and quantum mechanics. We're all connected. I'm connected to anybody that's died. They don't die. There's no such thing as death. They just go to a different plane. Well, guess what? They're still there. If I want to talk to my son, all I do is quiet my mind and think about him. And the other night I had a dream about him. It was so real. He hugged me. He was proud of me. He's proud of how I'm doing. And I said, don't you die on me again. I was visiting with him. It was real. I felt it. So I'm just saying, I want people to understand we're way bigger than what we think we are. We've been told our whole lives, from religion to government and schools, you're a small person. You need to be part of the cog in the wheel and be part of the system. We're going to give you a piece of paper to say you're smart. Look at Leonardo da Vinci. The dude never went to school. He was a brilliant genius. And I believe a lot of the children on this planet that are coming in right now, they're geniuses. And they're being shoved through these small, narrow-minded, follow the rules, stand in line, don't talk, graduating with assault records because they're angry boys and the school doesn't know how to handle it. There's no meditation taught. There's no self-empowerment taught. These children are stressed beyond belief. They're suicidal. We're losing so many young people. It's ridiculous. And why? Why? Because they don't know that the kingdom of God lives inside of them. They have all the power. We don't need to give our power to the government or to the churches. They're the ones oppressing us. They're the ones keeping the secrets of who we are to themselves. They know all this. Come on. What's in the bottom of the basement of the Vatican? Anybody have an idea? How about sacred knowledge? How about things that would basically blow the lid off that whole religion and say, you orchestrated the whole thing. You made all this up. Jesus came here to teach us how to ascend and be perfect humans and love each other. That was it. Not the Hebrew laws. If you ever read the Old Testament, oh my God, the rules, regulations, this has to be this big by this wide, and you have to do this on this day, and if you don't cook this meat the same way, and Islam's the same way, you have to cut the neck of the cow make it halal, and saying the name of Allah while you do it, and so the beef's clean, all of a sudden, whoa, this is some very, makes you feel small. You're a sinner, right? You come in the world a sinner. There's nothing you can do about it. Why not go out and have a good time? Isn't that what they all do? Come on. How many hypocrites do you know that are preaching love and the gospel at church, and then they go home and they beat their kid, or they hate their husband, and they're mean and they gossip about their neighbor? Or they don't want to show up to the disabled woman's house because she didn't get her coronavirus vaccine. I mean, come on. It's like we stop seeing each other as human beings. And it's so easy for us to demonize somebody and make them an animal so that don't feel so bad to kill them. I really think that's what the zombie video games were about. Will you shoot someone that's bleeding out their mouth? You're not going to ask them if they need help. They're all zombies. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Kill them. They were really working for it. I don't know if you know about the secret base where they're actually trying to bring a zombie apocalypse to life. They just want to weed us out, people. Come on. How many people don't understand the government does not want these numbers? There's too many of us to control. Why do you think there's chemtrails in the skies? Why do you think 300,000 people at least die a year in hospitals? Drug therapy. We've gotten so far away from the earth, doctors don't even understand that if you have cancer and you're going to put a poison in your body to get rid of it, why not change your entire life? Your mindset? Start meditating. Visualize that tumor reducing. Send it light. Why not? Change your diet. Raw foods. Get that good high frequency vibration food through you. I know people have cured their cancer doing this stuff. It's all about mindset. I knew a guy who laughed his cancer away. Watched all the funny stuff. Got to be the old stuff because they don't make funny stuff anymore. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've gone on Netflix and been like, everything's so weird. Like, what are you talking about? 1800s with a black and a white couple. What? They didn't do that back then, but everything's got to be inclusive. And so we're rewriting history now. And these kids are growing up watching Netflix going, oh yeah, well, this has always been the way it is. No, it hasn't. It's a lie. It's a fantasy. And so what's wrong with the reality? Yeah, maybe it doesn't sit well. Racism sucks, but we're racist, way more racist than we are now. We're really coming up out of that, I think, because we all bleed red and we all understand that. I mean, there's always a subgroup of people that act a certain way and you want to label them and say they're all like that because humans are so, we don't want things that are too complicated. Everything and so we weed it all out. And, but give yourself some peace. Give yourself some pats on the back. Every day, remember affirmations. I am amazing. Look how well I'm doing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're just barely getting out of bed every day, look at you. You made it to the bathroom. Celebrate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back and understand that right now, this incarnation on this three-dimensional earth plane is really tough. This is the big time, man. We're in graduation mode. Think about that. Every time I come back at a mean person with kindness, I win. Every time I process when someone trespasses against me and send them love and understanding, but also don't put your eggs in that basket. I'm not saying, when you forgive, you don't forget, okay? We are built for survival as humans. And when somebody trashes on you, you got to remember, is that person on your team or not? And if they're not, send them blessings and send them on their way. Don't ever hold on to anyone look, my daughter trashed me, right? I'm not holding on to it. I'm letting her go. You go do you, girl. And when you want to come back into my life, that would be great. And right now, I'm just working on me. I'm just cruising every day. Getting it done. Trying to keep my brain cells happy. I'm stimulating them with a lot of really good information on a regular basis. And so everything that I'm absorbing is becoming a part of me. If I fill my ears and my eyeballs with junk, garbage, I used to watch those murder shows and I was just really not in a very good place. And now I just crave the higher frequency knowledge. Like, tell me about the ancients. Tell me about the Anunnaki going over to Scotland. Did you know that Anunnaki language became the Gaelic? And then they came down to Sardinia, which is right by Italy. It's an island. And there were all kinds of giants there and really cool temples. And then they came across the Phoenicians. But they came from Armenia. They just came all the way around again and then I think they landed in Egypt, because there's some discrepancy about when I think the Anunnaki actually got here before the flood, and they went all around the earth putting all the pyramids all around. That was a big job. There was a lot of them, and they, probably used the giants because they created babies with women because we were so pretty, which is crazy, right? Can you imagine me having a giant baby? Oh my God, I can't imagine that. But anyway, there got to be lots of numbers. Well, the giants started thinking that humans tasted really good, so they were eating all the people. So that's why Enlil and the other council of gods got together and decided that we needed to flood the earth because of all the giants. They kept eating all the people, and we are the prize. We were created by these otherworldly beings so that we would raise our frequency. We could reach like a god status if we could follow all the ancient Vedas. Why is my brain escaping me? Well, the Indians had a lot of really good information, and the Buddhists, and then there was some really, really deeply, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Essenes. They was what the sect where Jesus came from. He studied under them in Qumran. And so the message was, we can all ascend. He never wanted to be worshipped. He wanted to be a teacher. He wanted to bring people with him. And the way he decided to go out, I mean, it's so dramatic. Really? Come on. It's very painful to watch that, because you really realize how low density this earth plane is. How many years have we been torturing and killing each other? I mean, do you realize the Catholic Church killed 80 million people? That is the most amount of people of any one entity that's ever been on the planet. The Catholic Church. All the Inquisitions, the burning the witches, those were the healers of their village. They killed all that ancient information. They killed all the knowers in Persia. Oh, that I never knew about. These people were highly advanced. Catholic Church went and destroyed them all. Oh my God, that's why Leonardo da Vinci had to hide all his symbols in his artwork, because he knew about the ancient aliens and how they seeded us and how they left us really important information, and how, the Catholic Church, that was heresy. So everybody was hiding. And Nostradamus, everything was in code. Shakespeare helped write the King James Bible. He had to hide his information, and all these people were like the Knights Templar, where it was like this hermetic understanding. Knights Templar got murdered. Friday the 13th, where that came from, and they went up to Scotland and became the Scottish Rites Freemasons, and then they actually had come over to the United States long before, I think right around the Vikings, maybe before, and they set up this circular stone thing on the East Coast. Whenever you go, I'm trying to remember where it is on the East Coast, but if you ever went there, they would say it was an old windmill, and it's got all the ancient, the star, it's all set up perfectly centered with astrology. If you know anything about the ancient monuments, you know that was the point of actually building, was to honor the sky, because the Hermetic principle of as above, so below, they're bringing the energy from space down to earth. That's why they were set up the way they were. That's why the dimensions of the pyramid was the distance from here to the sun, the circumference of the sun, the circumference of the moon, the circumference of the earth. They knew all that way back when. But all this information is shoved down, and nobody wants to talk about it. In the mainstream, you'll never hear this information, because it'll disrupt our understanding of the fact that we're all aliens. We're all seeded by them. They're continuing to do it with all the abductions. That's what the Greys are pulling our semen and eggs out. They lost the ability to procreate, and we're their cousins. They're from the future. They went so far ahead with technology, they got to the point where they can time travel, because time really doesn't mean anything. Time and space are very flexible. And we all know that now with the quantum understanding. So that's how they're coming back, and they're going, hey, we're killing ourselves, and we cut out sex. Who would do that? I mean, it's one of the greatest things, right? No, they gave up on it, so now they need our stuff. So they're creating a new race, and they've got a Earth planet number 2 that supposedly when you get your vibration up, that you may be able to be taken off the Earth before it's destroyed. We don't know. We hope it doesn't go into sixth extinction, but people, it doesn't look real good right now. I mean, the way people are behaving all the time. I try to hold out hope. I really do, because I'm all about hope. And then I look at the news. I'm like, oh my God, we have a long way to go. Anyway, I'm yakking too much. It was so much fun. I really appreciate you guys. And like I said, if you guys want to talk about something, I'd love to hear some comments. So take it easy. Bye.